So about 3 years ago when we bought the boat, I realised that the propeller shaft, the original propeller shaft coupling is not going to fit with my new gearbox. So I had to get an adapter between the two of them made. So I got this big lump of steel here machined up. That's 25mm thick mild steel, and it was machined up to suit. So what it does is it bolts on to the original coupling through these funky great 1-inch countersunk Allen key type bolts. They go in these big recesses here and they sit flush. So it bolts onto the propeller shaft like so. And then there's M16 holes here, which the gearbox then bolts go through from the gearbox side and thread into this, and that's how the gearbox and the propeller shaft meet together. However, when I got this machine 2 years ago or whatever it was, I forgot to get a spigot. So a spigot is basically a raised piece of metal that goes all the way around here, and it's machined to a certain size. That size is exactly what the internal diameter of this coupling is, and I need one on this side and one on that side. So today's job, we pulled this off. I'm going to take this down to the fitter and turner. He's going to build this up, so put it in a lathe, spin it round and round, and run a big motor around here on both sides, on this side top. Build that all the way up, and then machine it down so that the spigot can suit. Now I need this spigot so that we can align the motor and gearbox. Without it, we're relying 100% on the bolts not coming loose, and therefore if they come loose, the shaft and the motor can come out of alignment. With the spigot, the bolts only have to hold it together, they don't have to hold it aligned, if that makes sense. The spigot holds it aligned. So that's today's job, is to get that resolved. So so the gearbox here originally had, if you can see it in the video here, it originally had an oil water cooler mounted on the top and used the engine coolant to cool the gearbox down. That's going to basically cool the gearbox down to about maybe, I don't know, 70 to 90 degrees, something like that, at a rough guess. At the maximum, it's not going to get real cold. So I've got a set of keel cooling pipes under the deck. You can just see this pipe coming out of this here. They were originally, what were they for? I think they were actually originally for the other gearbox of the old motor. So what we're going to do is, these are the old pipes here from the gearbox that used to plug into the old cooler. So we've got rid of those. I'm actually going to use that to heat my veggie oil for the running it on waste oil. So I'll still use it, but it's just not for now. So what we're going to do, I've got new pipes made up that go from the gearbox around. At the moment I've actually got them joined together and out a hole at the other side under the engine. So I can put my compressor in here and basically blow out the last of the oil and so on from the old pipes, because I don't want to have that in, I want to get some new oil in there. So you can blow that all out, go out these pipes into a drum down the back. So let's get into it. I found this morning when I was doing this, you can hear it coming out the outside. When I was putting these pipes in this morning, I got heaps of oil out yesterday, and then I found that there was some water sitting in there. So we're just blowing all of that out, and then I'm going to give it a clean out with some Curo, get it as clean and dry as possible, and then refill it with new oil. We're putting in a different grade of oil because we're going into colder climates. So I think they use a 30 grade or something up here normally. I can't actually remember what the grade that we're putting in is. The hydraulic guy Andy is bringing it all down, so I'll find out that later on. But let's see if that worked. Cool, so we're dry. So, yeah, yep, there's rust in there. There's obviously been a bit of water and stuff sitting in those pipes. Not too bad, they're pretty oily still. Cool. So, I went to, as in previous videos, I went to get the gearbox all lined up and the engine and everything lined up the other day, and I was a dickhead and didn't get a spigot machined onto my little plate. We thought we could modify the plate and actually just weld it up, build it up and machine in a spigot, but it looks like that's not going to happen. So, because I it's a long story, but the plate itself isn't square, so isn't true. So if I leave that in, it's going to vibrate like a mofo. So we're machining up a new plate, which is a hell of a lot more expensive than I'd hoped. So that's going to slow us down a bit. So we won't be starting the engine as soon as we first thought. So down the bottom here, this is right next to the engine. And when we blasted the engine bay, we found a patch that had some electrolysis. So basically the steel has been eaten away by straight current, and right next to the ribs it's quite thin, so we're going to basically cut it out and replace it with a new piece of steel. It's essentially just a rectangle of steel that I'm taking out with some curved corners, and then yeah, let's show you how that's done. So see, I haven't cut this bit out yet, but that's the sort of shape that we end up chopping it to. So rounded corners. I actually normally just use a 5-inch grinder disc to do the radius, because then I know it's easy to duplicate on the other end. I don't have to think too much, just grab a disc and scroll it. Yeah, so basically that's our plate. So what I'm doing, I'll cut it right down. You can just see some of the old plate here. So right up in here, this plate is pretty much wafer thin, like just there it's maybe, I don't know, 1 millimetre thick. Back here it's sort of 6 mil. So between there and there, it dipped right down, oh sorry, between sort of here and here it dipped right down. So I don't know, obviously there's electrolysis sort of around this area and for some reason concentrated just there. But yeah, this sort of stuff's no good, we have to get rid of it. So this is some new plate that I put in a while back. You can sort of see that curve. There was a depth sounder or something that I took, some transducer of some sort from its fishing days that I took out, replaced it with a big piece of 6 mil flat steel. But yeah, obviously all this stuff's rubbish, so it's got to go. So yeah, we'll carry on and get the rest out. So that's the finished product. It's a wee bit rough around some of the edges, so I'll go through it and clean them all up with a flat wheel and just get it nice and, all the edges nice and smicked. But so basically what I've done is gone along with a 5-inch grinder on the easy to get to straight parts, just to get a nice clean cut, etc. But then some of the bits like down the back where it's a bit hard to reach, I've just gone through and plasmid. I've still got to go through, as you can see, really. As you can see down there, there's still some of the original floor left under that rib, and same under that one there. So I'll go through and get that out with the grinder in the morning, because then I can get to the welds basically and get right in there. Might actually have to plasma a little bit further, a little bit additional steel off there to get the grinder in, but that should come out pretty easy. So that's that one, the bulk of that one done. And this one here is one that I did a while back. They had basically a little box in there that had a grate on the bottom, removable grate on the bottom, and had a couple of seacocks coming out of it. But they did an awesome design feature. So this is the side of the engine beds, and the box maybe came up 3 inches, and there was no physical way of getting any way of cleaning or painting or blasting or anything down behind it. They were just too close together. So it was always going to be a, sort of a collection point for rust and crap and crud that happens to end up in the engine bay at some point. So yeah, decided to cut all of that out and start again. So I got my prop shaft adapter all back from the machinist today. So here she is. It's a bit of a beast. So let me show you. So basically I got, it's a piece of 25mm thick plate. Well, it's actually 40mm machine down, but it's got a spigot on this side and a spigot on that side. That does all the location of the gearbox on one side and the prop on the other, the prop coupling.
and then you can see all these tapped holes. So the small ones bolt into the gearbox and the big ones bolt into the propeller shaft. So once we've got that in, we can actually get the motor started, all lined up, bolted together, started, and yeah, happy days.